Saigon Bodyguards!
Yes. Congratulations, guys. Hello, Vietnam.
Chúng tôi đang ngay ở thành phố Buona Park và ngày hôm nay sẽ có buổi ra mắt của bộ phim về Sĩ Sài Gòn, tức là Sài Gòn Bodyguards, với đạo diễn Ken Oh và người viết biên kịch là Michael Thái. Và chúng tôi cũng có một vài người của bộ phim ở đây. Can you introduce them before they leave and we can start it?
Okay. This is my agent Gordon, and this is my manager Allard, and this is the screenwriter Michael Tai.
Say hi.
Hi.
Hello. We're so proud of these guys. I mean, we've watched this film from the beginning and read early drafts, and we're excited to see it come to life. This is the first time I've seen the finished cut, so I'm really excited about it.
All right, have fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks,
Đó là những người ở trong dàn làm phim, gồm có những người quản lý cũng như là một lần nữa đạo diễn gốc Nhật và người viết kịch bản người Mỹ gốc Việt. Is this the first time you direct a movie in Vietnam?
Yes, this is my first time, and this is my fourth feature film, but first Vietnamese feature film. So I'm very, very excited to share this film with audience in America.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
I was born and raised in Tokyo, and I came here when I was 19 to go to film school. And after that, I went back a little bit in Japan to direct features, and I went to USC with him, Michael, and since then we've been working together. It's been like 10 years?
Yeah, a decade.
Yeah, a decade together. And 3 years ago, I met this Swedish, half Vietnamese actor, producer, Kim Lee, and he called me up one day and said, let's make a movie together. So I called Mike up because he's a Vietnamese American and he's a genius. Hey, let's come up with an idea together, and here comes the Saigon Bodyguards.
Oh, so Kim Lee is the agent who bring you and Michael Tai together into this film.
Yes, I mean he definitely he's a producer and he initiated the project together. So yeah, he's the one.
Michael, tell us a little bit about yourself, Michael. I know that you are living right here in Orange County.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm a Vietnamese American. I was born in Germany but raised in Orange County. I've basically lived here my entire life. I went to film school at USC, where I met Ken and we began collaborating together. This is actually the first film we've worked on as a feature film. We've worked on a lot of short films and student films together, but this is the first feature film that we've worked on. He brought me onto this project. I thought it was really exciting. I've always wanted to have the opportunity to make a film in Vietnam. And I just found it fascinating. I thought it was a great experience, and we kind of took it from there. Ever since I began working with Kim and Ken, it's just been a joy to work with them and to develop ideas and projects with them.
Tell us how the story of Saigon Bodyguards come about.
So we knew from some research we did and from talking to Kim and some producers in Vietnam that comedy and action were two very big genres, popular genres in Vietnam. So we thought, how can we combine these two genres into something that's fresh, but also something that is broad and familiar to audiences? And we hit on doing an action comedy. Kim is a really buff, sexy guy, so he could do the action, and we could find his counterpoint to do comedy. And we did a lot of research. We drew on popular action comedies from Asia and America, like Rush Hour, Bad Boys, Stephen Chow films. And those were kind of the inspiration for us to make something that was, a lot of fun, but also with some heart.
Before Saigon Bodyguards, what other films you actually involved as the writer?
Saigon Bodyguards is the first feature film that I've had produced. I've done a lot of work in Vietnam and China, rewriting and doing treatments and doing outlines, and I've done a lot of work with short films, but this is the first feature film that I've done.
Nice. Tell us about your experience directing a movie in Vietnam.
It was fantastic. It was the most challenging film, at the same time the most fun experience that I had in terms of filmmaking, because this film had like a lot of international crew members, including me as a Japanese, Canadian producer, Korean producer, and Swedish, Vietnamese actor, and American and writer, and also American editor, American cinematographer, and Japanese composer. So like when you think about it, there's so many like international crew members, and I think key to make this film was like literally like a communication, and Mike helped me a lot, to be able to like get the authentic like Vietnamese elements, and also working with actors. We had a lot of like a discussion with actors. Me and Mike spend like 6 hours a day, with Tai Hua and other actors to talk about scenes. So I had like a really fantastic time.
Movie is the developing industry in Vietnam right now. Tell us, what do you think of movie in Vietnam, especially the actors and actresses in Vietnam?
I mean, I had like a joy of like working with them, because like they're so talented. I do feel like Vietnamese industry is young, but because of that, I feel that they're hungry to make better films, and also make the industry bigger. So they're eager to learn, and they're passionate about filmmaking, and that's something that was very inspiring. I learned a lot from them.
Can you add something?
I feel like the Vietnamese industry right now is growing, it's booming, there's a lot of interest in it, and I think there's a lot of investment. So I think it's a great place with a lot of opportunity to develop careers, and for young talented filmmakers to get their feet wet, to have their first films made. At the same time, I think it's important that it's not just about money, that people take their time to develop a sense of story, to focus on the writing and the development. A lot of times if there's so much money to be made, everyone just tries to rush to make the movie as soon as possible. And my only observation is I think it's important to have patience, and to understand that good stories don't come just like that. They take time, and investing in time and investing in the development process is something that will pay off, I think, with better films, but also it will make the Vietnamese culture stronger, the stronger the films are.
Before coming here today, I read some reviews from Vietnamese media back in Vietnam, and some of them is not very positive, especially regarding they talk about the story is not the reality in Vietnam, and it's not fit in the reality of Vietnam right now. What can you tell about that?
I mean, I think that's definitely a valid critique. I think everyone is entitled to their own opinion. I think you could say that about Hollywood films too. A lot of Hollywood films are not reflective of reality. We came from this from a very international perspective, so I understand that maybe it's not exactly authentic to the everyday life of Vietnamese people. But I think that's also one of the joys of making film, is that you can imagine something else, or you can imagine something that's fun or unique, or it's just a form of escapism. So I think there's room for all kinds of films in Vietnam and America, and I think that's definitely just one element of it.
Fantasy, that's why people come to a movie, right? Exactly. Before we leave, can you say something to the Vietnamese audience here and back in Vietnam also?
I mean, there are not that many Vietnamese films that could come to America and internationally, but I feel like this film has like not only Vietnamese authentic quality, but also like universal like a theme to it. The heart of the story lies between it's the bonds between Trinh and Vien, the two main characters, and I feel like this film is not only entertaining but also like kind of like heartfelt. So I would really encourage you guys to come to a theater at CGV, because this kind of film you have to watch in theater. So please come join us.
Michael, please have a few words.
I think for all the audiences watching, this film is a lot of fun. It has a lot of action, a lot of comedy. There's romance. I would say to give Vietnamese films a chance, those in America that don't necessarily follow Vietnamese cinema, I would say give it a chance, and maybe you'll be surprised that there's a lot of really interesting work being done in Vietnam. So, now you have a theater here that you can go to in CGV Buena Park and check out a lot of the Vietnamese in films coming out of Asia. So I would suggest and recommend that they take advantage of that. I think they'll enjoy it a lot.
Chúng ta vừa mới nghe câu chuyện của đạo diễn gốc Nhật Ken Ochihai và người viết kịch bản của bộ phim Michael Thái của bộ phim Sài Gòn Bodyguards, tức là vệ sĩ Sài Gòn. Bây giờ chúng ta bắt đầu vào xem bộ phim. Thank you.
Thank you. Come on.
Yes, and then this is her.
Fantastic! I'm so excited to share the audience. Because this is my film.
Screening tonight, sponsored by Jalivia sản xuất gel and nước sơn matching with chị Julie Zhao. Can we have her stand up and everyone can clap for her? By Julie Jun and Tuấn Hoàng.
Ủa, sếp? Sếp ơi, hôm nay nhìn sếp nóng bỏng quá.
Hello, how'd you like the movie? Thank you so much for coming out to support the film. Now, before anyone, a Japanese director, how did you collaborate with Orange County screenwriter to make a film in Vietnam with a Swedish actor and a producer from Canada for a studio company from Korea?
Well, that's a very good question. Well, when I was 12, when I was in Japan, and my mother asked me, "What's your dream, Ken?" And I told her that my dream is to make a movie in Vietnam. So, no, I'm just kidding. I would have never thought that I was, able to make a movie in Vietnam, honestly. And it was about 3 years ago. I met this guy, Kim Lee.
We were inspired by kind of like the big action comedies of America. Like I watched Rush Hour in high school and Bad Boys 1 and 2.
And then now we would like to move on to our raffle ticket portion. So can we get the raffle tickets and maybe you guys can
Em rất là thích bộ phim này. Đây là lần đầu tiên mà coi được bộ phim Việt Nam ở tại Mỹ. Theater thì rất là mới, đạo diễn cũng có mặt ở đây cho nên mình cảm thấy rất là gần gũi. Sau khi coi phim còn được có phần câu hỏi và trả lời với đạo diễn nữa thì bây giờ thì cảm thấy rất là vui, rất là tự hào về nền điện ảnh Việt Nam và hy vọng trong tương lai thì mọi người sẽ lấy đây là một cái động lực để làm nên những bộ phim hay hơn nữa.
Wow, Tino nói hay quá, Ivan không biết là phải nói sao, nhưng mà cũng giống như Tino rất là tự hào lần này cũng là lần đầu tiên Ivan coi phim của người Việt Nam làm, của người Việt Nam diễn thì rất là vui và mong tất cả cũng tiếp tục ủng hộ nền giải trí và coi như là phim giải trí của người Việt.
Em sang bên Việt Nam mà qua đây 5 tuổi và có thể không có rành vào hai cô gái đẹp này, nhưng mà em cũng phải nói là em rất là proud cho Vietnamese, người Việt Nam của mình và cho directors và producers mà muốn collaborate với lại người Việt Nam mình thì em thấy rất là hay, mà em rất là support và encourage là in the future mình nên tiếp tục làm phim ở bên Việt Nam, help Vietnam's economy, help their film industry, just help everyone in general. Yeah.
Vệ sĩ Sài Gòn, Sài Gòn Bodyguards.
Sài Gòn!